FlyQuest have put their money where their mouth is for the second time as they've gotten a lineup filled with some hallmark names. Whippo top, Inspired jungle, Jensen mid, Masu bot, and Busio at support. This lineup has basically everything you could want, from veteran presence to real firepower to rookie talent. This roster has it all. Here I'm going to go top to bottom lane and we'll discuss each player, their current form, and how they fit into the lineup. Let's get started. Whippo is back from being a streamer last year, and that of course means that he's probably going to be a little bit rusty and take a little bit of time to ramp up. I'm not really going to take anything away from his solo queue stats, as generally Bwipo is that type of player that likes to limit test basically, and right now I think he's sitting at the bottom of Challenger. But what I will say is that his playstyle and what I previously commented when he was in the super team of 2022 Team Liquid doesn't hold true for this lineup. Bwipo is indeed a very sacrificial player, but given the lineup that's presented here, I think he can actually play a much more greedy style. Jensen can play passively, and Inspired is a balanced jungler that can really change from herbivore to carnivore jungler depending upon his team's needs. So this is Whippo's real big chance to try and go lane kingdom. And like I was saying, I do think the 2024 game changes with the new Void Grubs will bring more action to the top lane. So it's going to be even more important for top laners to try and establish dominance. And Whippo is certainly a player that will take risks if his team allows it. This ends up being a really good piece to pick up, and what's even better is that since Bwipo likes to experiment, he'll bring some great insight in the Spring Split since it's a completely new meta. Other teams better watch out for Bwipo in 2024. Inspired stays in the LCS and he brings up the jungle role here. He comes back from being teamless in 2023 summer, and what a lineup to come back to. Inspired is the type of jungler that can adapt his style to suit plenty of needs for his laners, but the interesting question here is if he'll be able to play towards the top side of the map. In the past, he's worked with top laners like Impact and Otawamne, both classically weak side players that don't require a lot of attention. But with the introduction of Whippo, it will be interesting to see if Inspired can adapt to Bwipo if they decide to play towards top side. Inspired will have to be aware that Bwipo will sometimes go for coin flip plays, unbeknownst to his team. So Inspired will have to pay extra attention to Bwipo's lane and anticipate if he actually needs help. This could be the factor that either makes or breaks this team. Speaking of planning, if you're planning for more League of Legends content, keep it locked right here and subscribe. I keep the bangers coming with documentaries, opinion pieces, interviews, and analytical videos. So make sure to subscribe because I'll be releasing content all in the off season as well. All right, let's get back to the video. Jensen is coming back from a down year on Dignitas after losing in the playoffs to the Golden Guardians. With what looked like one of the worst bot lanes in the entire league, there really wasn't much Jensen could do in the mid lane to carry his team to victory. But I would say that was often Dignitas's win condition to even get anything on the board. Now he's paired up with Inspired as his jungler, and this will require Jensen to be less selfish since Inspired is a slightly more aggressive jungler than Santorin. But if there's one takeaway from 2023, it's that Jensen can definitely carry games if his jungler is willing to play towards him and gank his lane. Added to that, Jensen will be sharing the stage with Whippo, and we could see a return of Jensen pulling off roams towards the top side. The good thing is that the mid lane pool looks weak this season, and if the meta ever shifts towards more mid-centric picks, it's prime real estate for Jensen to take over and start dominating the rest of the LCS mids. The large foreseeable problem with Jensen's play is that he's played with a top laner like Impact and Fudge for so long that he really hasn't had many carry top laners in his entire career. If there's another statement to be had in Jensen's storied career this time, it's if he can play towards the top side of the map for once. He did it somewhat when he was paired with Alfari on Team Liquid, but that team had internal strife for 2021. So we'll see if Jensen can right the wrongs and let his top laner have the ball for once. Masu joins this team as the ADC. He's a complete rookie from FlyQuest Academy, and by all metrics, seems to be a budget piece. As far as I can tell, he hasn't been a hype prospect and has seemingly come out of nowhere. The good news is that his support previously was Winsome, the former Cloud9 support, so at least he's had someone with some LCS experience to teach him the ropes in Academy. The one good thing is that since he's a rookie, he won't take up much space on this roster as far as resources or strategic voice is concerned, and that may work out to FlyQuest's benefit, as this will probably be a topside meta headed into 2024. Busio is bringing up support for this team, and while I know a lot of people are excited for Busio this time around, I am not. He was lackluster on 100 Thieves, making quite a bit of mistakes and looking like he was dragged around by his ADC Doublelift the entire time. With a rookie ADC, it may allow him to start making his own plays and taking command of the bot lane, so it may have been a bit too early to judge him on his stint on 100 Thieves. As long as he can stabilize the bot lane and operate at a break-even state, this FlyQuest bot lane should do just fine within this lineup. Nukeduck takes the reins as head coach, coming from 100 Thieves as the assistant coach. Player coach can always have massive flaws, as usually they see the game from a limited perspective, but since he has Arrow as his assistant coach and Demonte as an assistant coach as well, one being a former ADC and another being a former mid laner who have been around for quite a long time, maybe that will help balance the perspectives. Nukeduck is supposed to be a player that was somewhat cerebral about the game when he was playing, teaching a lot of other mid laners about the nuances of the game, so we'll see how well that transfers to teaching a team. The good part about that is this LCS team looks like they'll mostly be self-sufficient besides the rookies in the bot lane, so as long as Nukeduck picks his battles carefully, I actually think this might be a great squad to coach, as it will kind of be like having training wheels on a bike. Whoever constructed this roster and coaching staff probably knew that going in, but they better hope they're right, because otherwise it could blow up in their face if conflict resolution becomes a mess. Overall, I think this team will at least place third, if not be a lock for second. The real question is if they can really hone in on how they want to play the top side of the map. They could actually do some damage against Cloud9 and become their kryptonite and snipe first place. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe to get all the latest on LCS interviews and opinions. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.